Hello, everybody. So, chaos in the airlines this morning. I guess all the flights were shut down for a while, but I guess things are getting back to normal. But anyway, I wanted to look at some of these airline stocks and see what we can see for some potential trading ideas. So, here's UAL, and I mean, this looks pretty overextended to me. Yeah, I mean, this is like a really powerful move here. And now we're up to a level that was resistance. A lot of times, stocks or markets or financial markets, cryptos, whatever it is you're trading, they run into resistance at former peaks or former highs. And there's a reason for that. It's there are a lot of people who bought here who regret doing so after we had this big move lower. So there's a bunch of these um, disgruntled buyers or remorseful buyers are going to be placing sell orders at the same price they got in at because they want to get out without losing any money. So a big company like this, it's going to take us more than a day to kind of know if this is going to break through and if those sellers are still lurking around. But it is overbought. Now, most stocks spend their typical lifetime or their most of the time in within what would be their average or historical trading range. When they get above that, we call that overbought, and we get below that, we call that oversold. And that's important because things in the market tend to revert to the mean. So if something gets overbought, it'll attract buyers into the market because they're going to be expecting a rally back to the mean. And if something gets oversold, that's going to bring sellers into the market because they're going to be expecting a sell-off um, back to the mean. This red line here is what's called a Bollinger Band. It's two standard deviations above the 20-day moving average. This is a pretty good indicator. Simple, it's easy to understand, and it's pretty effective. 95% of trading should be within two standard deviations of the mean. Okay. And when we get overextended, tend to get the reversion. Now look at this. It got above the Bollinger Band here, and it was right before a sell-off. Now it's above it here. So overbought and at resistance, there's a good chance it goes lower. Now here we have delta, and it looks like it's broken out a little bit. So a lot of times there is resistance, and there was for a few days at former support levels. This happens because of buyer's remorse. People buy here. It's like the same thing, but it's just a different dynamic. People buy here, and when the shares go lower, a lot of them regret doing so, and they decide to get out, but they don't want to lose money, so they place their sell order at the same level they bought at. Okay, so like right there. And once again, it's above the Bollinger Band. So that's delta. So this looks like it's a little overextended as well. Well, I mean, we know it's overextended. So you look at when it got above the Bollinger Bands here, it went lower. When it got above it here, it went lower. Here, here. So just have to keep an eye on these. Next up is Alaska Air. Now I don't have the line drawn out, but you can see it's hitting resistance around this little level there. And it's overbought. So overbought and at resistance. Actually, let me switch to the pen here. I can draw it in. Yeah, so you see that? So former support level becomes resistance. Now we're at resistance again. All right, let's just take a look at one more before I get going. Alaska Air. We see a similar picture here in that we're overbought and we're at resistance. So remember, resistance is a large collection of sellers trying to sell or investors trying to sell their shares at the same price. So that's what this is. When the market's going higher, there's not enough supply or sell orders to fill all of the demand or buys. So the buyers have to pay higher prices or be willing to pay higher prices. When we get to a resistance level, the dynamic changes. All of a sudden, there's enough shares to go around for all the buyers. All right. So we're at a resistance level and we're overbought. So there's a good chance that one comes in too. So I think these things are probably going to head south a little bit. At the very least, they'll probably due for some consolidation or sideways trading. If they're going to go higher, I would suspect that they spend some time consolidating before they do so. All right, well that's all I got for today. Well, actually that's not true, but that's all I got for on these stocks. All right, everybody, thank you. See you soon.